Adonai bechinor b'kol zimrach b'chatzotzrot b'kol shofar הריעו לפני המלך אדוני זמרו לאדוני בכינור בקול זמרה בחצוצרות בקול שופר הריעו לפני המלך אדוני ירם הים ומלוא תבל ויושבי בה נהרות ינחל וכף יחד הרים ירננו לפני אדוני כי בא לשפוט הארץ ישפוט תבל בצדק ועמים במישרים ירם הים ומלוא תבל ויושבי בה נהרות ינחל וכף יחד הרים ירננו.
Page 20, רוממו.
Nay, 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 yai, day, 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 yai, day, 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 nay, day, 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 nay, 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 yai, day, 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 nay, day, 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 רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו.
If you're able to do so, please rise as we turn to page 21, Mizmor LeDavid.
Mizmor LeDavid, Havu Adonai v'nei Havu Adonai Kavod va'oz Havu Adonai Kevod shemo Ishtachavu Adonai Havakodesh Kol Adonai Haramayim Elakavod Irim Adonai Amayim Rabim Kol Adonai Bakoash Hay 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 Kol Adonai Behadar Kol Adonai Shomer Azim Vayashaber Adonai Erazeh Havanon Vayakidem Kemo Hegel Levanon Vesiyon Kemo Ben Remim Kemo Ben Remim
Hay, hay, hay.
Kol Adonai Yahel Midbar Yahil Adonai Midbar Kadesh Kol Adonai בכל האיילות, ויחשוף יערות, ובחלום כולו אומר כבוד. אדוני לעמו ישב וישב, אדוני מלך לעולם, אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. נאי 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 נאי
Let us please be seated. We continue on page 22. If you would, may your mighty right hand undo the knot that ties us up. Almighty, if you would, guard as the apple of your eye those who seek your unity. Ana bechoach.
Ana bechoach, bechoach, gedulat yemincha, yemincha, tatet serura, kaberinat tamcha, sagvenu, tarenu, nora. Ana bechoach, bechoach, gedulat yemincha, yemincha, tatet serura, kaberinat tamcha, sagvenu, tarenu, nora. Ana bechoach, gedulat yemincha, tatit serura, kaberinat amecha, sagvenu tarenu nora. Nagibor dorshe yechudcha, kebaval shomrem, barchem tarem, rachamem tzidkatecha, tamid omlem. Ana bekoach gedulat yemincha, tatet serura, kaberinat amecha, sagvenu tarenu nora. Nai 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 nai
We prepare to greet the Shabbos bride, Lecha Dodi, page 23.
Nai 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 Rakala Pene Shabane Kabela Lechato Dilig Rakala Pene Shabane Kabela Shamor Vizachor Beni Borechad Ishmianu Elham Yechad Adonai Echad Ushemo Echad Hashem Utiferet Vehelitila Lechadodi Ligrakala Pene Shabbat Nekavela Ligrat Shabbat Lechu El Chakim Bekor Haberacha Merosh Mikedem נשוכה סוף מעשה ומחשבה תחילה לך דודי נקרא קהלה פני שבת נקבלה מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה קומצי מתוך אפק הרב לשבת בימי קבך וכו יחמול עלייך חמלה לך דודי נקרא קהלה פני שבת נקבלה היא נערי מעפר קומי לישי בידי תפארתך מיד בן ישי בן הלך מקרבה אל נפשי גאלה לך דודי נקרא קהלה פני שבת נקבלה התעוררי כי באורך קומי אורי שידברי גבול אדוני עלייך בגלה לך דודי נקרא קהלה פני שבת נקבלה לא תבושי ולא תקמי מה תשתוכחי ומה תגמי בככסו אני עמי ונבנתה עיר עתילה לך דודי נקרא קהלה פני שבת נקבלה והיו לשמסה שוסייך ורחקו כל מבלייך יסיס עלייך אלוהייך כמסחוס חתן הכלה לך דודי נקרא קהלה פני שבת נקבלה ימין ושמאל תפרוצי ואת אדוני תריצי היד איש בן פרצי ונשמחה ונגילה לך דודי נקרא קהלה פני שבת נקבלה בואי בשלום התבלה גם בשמחה ובצורתו כמונה עם סגולה בואי חלה
שבת מלכתה
לך דודי נקרא קהלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי נקרא קהלה פני שבת נקבלה.
Let us please be seated. We continue on page 27, Mizmor Shir LeYom HaShabbat.
מזמור שיר, מזמור שיר, מזמור שיר ליום השבת. מזמור שיר, מזמור שיר, מזמור שיר ליום השבת. טוב טוב להודות לאדוני, טוב טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון. טוב טוב להודות לאדוני, טוב טוב להודות לאדוני, טוב טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון. טוב טוב להודות לאדוני להגיד בבוקר עזתך, להגיד בבוקר עזתך, באמונתך בלילות, באמונתך בלילות. טוב טוב להודות לאדוני להגיד בבוקר עזתך, להגיד בבוקר עזתך, באמונתך בלילות, באמונתך בלילות. טוב טוב להודות לאדוני, Tov tov lehodot l'Adonai. Tov tov lehodot l'Adonai. ולזמר לשמך עליון. טוב טוב להודות לאדוני.
We continue on page 29, Adonai Malach.
Adonai malach gehul lavesh, lavesh Adonai ozit hazar, aftikon tevel batimot, aftikon tevel batimon, nachon kisecha me'az, me'olat Nasehu neharot Adonai, Nasehu neharot kolam, Yisehu neharot okyam, Migolot vayim rabim, Adirim mishpeyam, Adir bamarom Adonai, Adir bamarom Adonai. Elotecha nemnu me'od, leveitcha na'kodesh, Adonai leorech yamim, Adonai leorech yamim, migolot mayim rabim, adirim mishpeyam, adir bamarom Adonai, adir bamarom Adonai.
Let us please rise for Baruch, page 39.
Nai nai na 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 nai 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 na 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 nai nai yada dai 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 yada dai dai yada dai nai nai na 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 nai 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 na 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 nai nai yada dai 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 yada dai da 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 dai. Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach leolam va'en na 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 nai nai na 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 nai 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 na 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 nai nai ya nai 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 ya nai nai ya nai 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 na 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 nai 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 na 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 nai nai na na nai 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 na na nai na na nai. Umavir yom umevi laila, umavir ben yom uvein laila, Adonai tzevaot shemo, Adonai tzevaot shemo. El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Hamariv Aravim.
Ahavat Olam, page 40.
Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amchavta Torah u'mitzvot u'kidum mishpatim otanu limadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shokbeinu u'kumeinu nasiach bechukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha u'b'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki em chayenu ve'orech yameinu ve'orech yameinu u'bahem neged yomam v'layla אהבתך, אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם בניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם נאות על ידיך,
והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך,
וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך וימשמות.
וכתבתם זאת ביתך ובשעריך למען יראו ימיכם ביום הנמוש עליכם. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Continue together on page 44. Who is like you, Adonai? Mi chamocha.
Nai 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 מי כמוך פועלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקר הים לפני משה, זה אלינו ואמרו, זה אלינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ני 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 ני
Ashkebenu, page 45.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים. ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ושלום מעתה ועד עולם. השכיבנו אדוני
אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום,
לשלום, והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים.
ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך. ברוך אתה אדוני, הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו
אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו
אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו
אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים.
Best one yet.
Well,
That was great.
It must be Pirate
Must be
Shabbat.
the
That was
magic.
great.
It must be the pirate thing.
Please rise as we sanctify Shabbat together, page 46, Vishamru.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה,
אמן.
ועלמא דיברה קירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי כל בית ישראל, בגלה בגלה ובזמן הקריב אמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך
לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה יתברך.
יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר וירום וינשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקדושה ברכו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירה מעלמה ואמרו
Amen. We pray the Amidah silently, beginning on page 47.
For those of you still praying your Amidah, please continue to do so. The rest of us may be seated. We'll continue on page 51 with Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol heit ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
May the one who creates peace on high bring peace to us and to all Israel and to all who dwell on earth. And we say, Amen.
Oh, say shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom
Aleinu
ve'al kol Yisrael
ve'imeru. Amen.
Oh, say shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru. Amen. Oh, say shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru. Amen. Oh, say shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru. Amen. Oh, say shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru. Amen. Oh, say shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru. Amen.
Kaddish,
Kaddish Shalem.
page 54.
יתגדל ויגדל מרבה,
אמן.
ועמד דברה קירותי ומלכמותי בחייכוני ומכוני וחייך כל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ומרו, אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, Le'alam olam me'amayai.
Yitbarach.
Yitbarak v'yishtabach v'yitbar v'yitrama v'yinaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemeri kudesha. V'yichul le'ela minko berakata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata damiran me'alma v'imru. Amen. Yitkabat zlot hona v'uta hona chol Yisrael kodama hona v'shamaya v'imru. Amen. Yehi shalom araba min shamaya v'chaim alina ve'akol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. O say shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom. Seriously, how do I begin tonight? Okay. Thanks for taking off the wig, Liz. I really appreciate that. There's going to be a big distraction. Look, I don't know if you read what I sent this afternoon to the congregation, but at the beginning, I was not so hot on this idea of Pirate Shabbat. Rabbi Hodson really had to convince me. And once he convinced me, I really embraced it. And I'm really happy with it. I cannot tell you what an incredible sight it was to see so many children and so many of our families and so many of our singles and non-conventional families, everyone gathered here together at the temple to have Shabbat dinner together, to have a children's service with the theme of pirates together, and really to come together once again after everything that happened to us last year. It was really a traumatic year, a year that I hope we never get to repeat ever again, and above all, a year that I think left many of us scarred, both in a good and a bad way. Right? In a good way because we understand that no matter what happened, we are here, we persevered, and we'll go forward. But in a bad way because many of us know friends and family members who didn't make it till the end of the year, and we'll always remember the devastating effects of this horrible year of pandemic. I wanted to share a couple of thoughts about our Torah portion this Shabbat with you, Parashat Korach. And instead of concentrating on the beginning of the Torah portion when the earth opens up and swallows Korach and his followers, I want to go to the end of the Torah portion. There is a part of this incredible reading where God tries to really send a message to the Bnei Israel, letting them know who's in charge. Meaning, do not rebel against Aaron and Moses because you will not win. These are your leaders, and you need to follow them because I am with them. And how does God do that? Well, he asked the chiefs of all the tribes to lay down their staffs next to Aaron's staff, all of them together in the tabernacle. And when they show up the next morning, all the staffs are just like they left them, right? That's what you would expect. But Aaron's staff had flourished with almond flowers. Now, this seems completely out of place. It comes out of nowhere. It's completely out of left field, like we say in the United States. And one of the reasons why that is there, according to our sages, is to let us know that we as a people are just a powerful miracle as Aaron's staff flourishing. That no matter what has happened, and no matter where we have been, and no matter the rebellions that we have sustained, and what we have faced, we are still here, and that we will endure, and that we will flourish. Now, if you don't believe that we've been everywhere and we've done everything, then you are with the wrong people. We've been everywhere. When I first heard about Pirate Shabbat, of course, my first instinct was, let's look for some Jewish pirates. And guess what? There's more than one. More than one. So let me tell you a quick story about Moises Cohen Enriquez. Moises Cohen Enriquez was a Spanish-Portuguese Jew who was one of the cronies of Captain Henry Morgan. And together, they ripped off the Spanish Empire of the modern-day equivalent of $1 billion. They attacked them time and time again in the Caribbean Sea. Now, for Moises Cohen Enriquez, as he put it, this was only about revenge for the Spanish having expelled his family from Spain. But ultimately, the equivalent of a modern-day $1 billion is nothing to sneeze at. And Captain Morgan, as you all know, became the famous rum. Now, how did that happen? And it's all connected. If you go to Jamaica today, there are anywhere between 25 and 30 grave sites that are inscribed entirely in Hebrew with the symbol of the pirates. And you can read the names of the pirates that actually used to live in Jamaica. One of them, Moises Cohen Enriquez. And his family, in deference to him and his relationship to Captain Morgan, were the ones who started the rum, Captain Morgan. They owned the rum factory. Eventually, they sold it to Seagram's, which is owned by Edgar Bronfman, who's also Jewish. So you see, everything connects. Now, why do I tell you this story? Because believe it or not, I myself had a connection to Jamaica when I was a rabbi in Mexico City. In the congregation where I grew up, there is a family that comes from Jamaica. As a matter of fact, the patriarch of the family and the matriarch of the family still live in Jamaica. There's Sephardic Jews. And as the story goes, and I was there when this happened, their grandchild, who was enrolled in one of the Jewish day schools, went to visit them one summer. And when he came back, they're asking all the kids in the class, what did you do for the summer? Where were you? So Ronnie, his name is Ronnie, gets up and says, I went to my grandfather's island. And, you know, we had lunch and dinner on the beach every day, and his servants brought us all these fruits, and they made incredible kosher meat for us every day on the beach. They grilled it, and they barbecued it, and then we went in a helicopter, and we looked around, and we went scuba diving. So the teachers actually called his parents and said, look, we have a problem. Your son, Ronnie, told us this crazy story about how his grandfather owns an island and how his great-great-great-grandfather was a pirate. I mean, you shouldn't let him stay up at night so late watching TV. And I remember till this day, and I heard this firsthand at the Shabbat dinner, Jackie, Ronnie's mother, said to the teacher, look, I'm sorry to say, but my child was not lying. This is our family in Jamaica. We are descendants of Moises Cohen Enriquez. And yes, our family has been there for many, many centuries. Now, there's about 200 Jews left in Jamaica, of which about 50 of them are originally, you know, the British Jews and the Spanish Jews that came for anywhere from the 15th to the end of the 17th century. But aside from that, now there's a number of American expats. They're not really descendants of pirates. Maybe Pirates of the Caribbean and Walt Disney, but aside from that, you need to understand that this story of Jewish pirates is not only funny, but it's a very poignant story. It teaches us that we really were everywhere. And no matter who we were, when we died, our graves always said who we were. Whether we were pirates or generals or nobodies. And by the way, till this day, we're all buried the same way. It is really important to understand that because we as a people are really a miracle. Now, I'll give you a second story and a second example. If you don't believe we're a miracle, look at what's about to happen in Israel after Shabbat is over. I was actually on a lobbying appointment with one of our elected representatives with some people from AIPAC, and we were talking about, you know, asking them to please support us, and this particular congressperson has always been very supportive, Susie, she's been wonderful, and she asked us, what do you think about the new Israeli government? And one of the things that our conversation drifted to was, look, this new Israeli government not only is a miracle, but it's also an example of compromise to any democracy in the world. You have in that coalition Naftali Bennett, to the extreme right of Benjamin Netanyahu, sitting with Yair Lapid, who's center right, sitting with Arabs for the first time in history, having the most amount of women in the cabinet and the most amount of women that have ever served in the Knesset. Amongst them, by the way, and I say this with pride, a contemporary of mine, Gaby Lasky from Mexico City, who was born in Mexico, who was elected to the Knesset by Meretz, who is the extreme left-wing party in Israel. She was actually one of the city council people in Tel Aviv, and now she's going to the Knesset. So for the first time we see this diverse and incredible group of people come together to hopefully try to give a country that didn't have a budget for the past 4 years. Imagine that. A path forward with optimism, with pluralism, which is very important, and with people from opposite sides of, extreme sides of the aisle, not only talking to one another, but sitting with one another around the cabinet table. If this doesn't show you the miracle of the Jewish people, I don't know what does. So we go from pirates, who took $1 billion from the Spanish, that's unbelievable, to the new government of Israel. This is like Aaron's flourishing staff. And all of us here are part of that story. Our children dressed as pirates tonight, even Rabbi Hudson and myself, and DJ kind of dressed as a pirate, and all of the professional pirates that were here today. Look, it was an incredible feeling. We are part of the story, and we're part of the miracle. Coming together again as a community, letting the world know that Zoom is great, but it's not enough. That we as Jews have always managed to sit next to one another, comfort one another, smile with one another, and thrive together with each other. Shabbat Shalom u'mevorach. May I please ask us to rise? We're going to continue with Shalom Aleichem, page 73.
Shalom Aleichem, Malchei Hasharet, Malchei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem L'Shalom, Malchei Hashalom, Malchei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeitchem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch.
Let us please remain standing. At this time, I would like to ask Nathan Nickman, our bar mitzvah for this Shabbat, to come to the Bima together with his parents and his brother and sister to lead us in Kiddush. Yeah, come on, guys, yes. Come on. Yeah. Don't be shy. Come on. You don't want to come? Am I going to have to go and get you, Michael? Thank you. Thank you very much. I would like to also invite all the children that are with us tonight to please come up to the Bima at this time. Thank you so much. Here, come stand with Nate. No, come on. Hey, Sarah. Page 55, let us remain standing for Kiddush. Here, come next to me. You should be proud, come on. Yes, of course.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher Kiddishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvraton inhilanu zikaron lema'aseh boreshit ki hu yom tehila lemikrae kodesh zeher letiyat mitzrayim kivanu vaharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim ve'shabbat koshecha ve'ahavratzon kinhaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Amen. Alrighty. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Thank you.
Nathan, stay. Hold on a second. We have, on behalf of our congregation of clergy, our board of directors, we have a certificate for you that says that the Jewish National Fund has planted a tree in your honor, coming a bar mitzvah in Medinat Israel, in the land of Israel, in the state of Israel. We hope that shortly you have a chance to go visit your tree and that you grow up proud and strong together with it. And may this be the first of many, many trees that you get to plant in the state of Israel, showing the world that we're here to stay and that we're here to grow and to flourish and be a miracle people for many, many centuries to come. Mazel tov to you and to your family. Thank you very much, guys. And see you tomorrow morning. Oh, we're very excited. And we'll continue now on page 56 with Aleinu. Let us please remain standing.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עצות ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כחטא, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שנתי שמיים ויוצר. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Let us please be seated. This Shabbat, we remember with love Cynthia Weisbord, the mother of Rob Weisbord, one of our past board members. We send you, Rob, and your entire family a big embrace of comfort. We also remember with love the following people whose yortzeit we're observing: Mayor Benedict, Nathan Bloomberg, Dr. George Poladin, Freya Kosainov, Miriam Finkelstein, Herbert Fisher, Eva Furman, Samuel Glitcher, Jean Nee Goldberg, Helen Green, Sylvia Hoffman, Martha Joseph, Zelda Karch Kaplan, Edwin Lewis, Ruth Lewis Wiggins, Samuel Lipkin, Agnes Mason, Linda Resnick, Stanley Schwarzbart, Esther Leah Sinkoff, Thelma Wexler, Abraham Weinstein, Eva Weiss, and Dorothy Zaven. Mourners and those who serve in your side, please rise for the Mourners Kaddish, page 58.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
בעלמא דברה קירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון ובימיכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevorach Le'olam Olamei Almaya. Yit Barak v'yish Tabach v'yit Pa'ar v'yit Ramam v'yit Naseh. V'yit Hadar v'yit Ale v'yit Halal Shemei Kudusha Barichu.
Barichu.
Le'elam min kol berchata v'shirata. Tush bechata v'nechamata da'amiran be'alma ve'imru amen.
Amen.
Yehi Shlama Rabba min Shemaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen.
Amen.
Osei shalom im romav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru.
Amen. Please be seated. I'd like to call upon Ronnie Levin, member for Board of Directors, for the announcements. By the way, this is the most amount of board members we've had present at the synagogue since Rosh Hashanah. I am so proud. What? It's the truth. I'm very happy.
Shabbat Shalom. Great to see everyone come here this evening. Mazel Tov to Nathan and his family. Join us tomorrow at 9 a.m. when Nathan Nickman will be called to the Torah. On Friday, June 18th, will be Acoustic Shabbat, followed by Saturday, June 19th with Shabbat Haleinu. Friday, June 25th, during Kabbalat Shabbat service, will be Women's League installation of officers. Saturday, June 26th, will be Shabbat Katan for our youngest members at 10:30 a.m. in the Steinberg Chapel. Following services, please join us for an oneg in the large social hall. If you know of a temple member who's in the hospital, ill at home, or in a nursing home, please contact the temple office and let us know. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Ronnie. Thank you. I want us to turn to page 211 for Adon Olam, and then we'll conclude with a special blessing. But just a warning about Adon Olam. You're entering pirate territory again. Page 211.
Yo ho ho ho, a pirate's life for me. Adon olam asher malach b'terem kol etzir nivra. Le'ein nasav ha'hefsa kol azan le'shemo nivra. Yo ho ho ho, a pirate's life for me. Ve'acharei kitlot hakol levado himloch nora. Ve'hu haya ve'hu hoved ve'hu b'tifara. Yo ho, a pirate's life for me. והוא אחד ואין שני להמשלו להחבירה בלי ראשית בלי תחליף ולא העוז והמשרה Yo-ho, a pirate's life for me והוא אלי וחייו עלי וצורב לי בעת צרה והוא ניסי ומנוס לי מנחוסי ביום מקרא Yo-ho, a pirate's life for me בידו הפקיד רוחי והייתי שן והעירה ואם רוחי גביעתי אדוני לי ולא אירא Yo-ho, a pirate's life for me.
That was actually very good, DJ.
Thank you.
Let us all come together as a congregation at this time. Let us embrace one another as we feel the blessing, the beauty, the warmth, and the light of Shabbat.
יבורכך אדוני וישמרך יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונך יישא אדוני פניו אליך ויעשם לך שלום יבורכך אדוני וישמרך
אדוני יעש למו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום, שבת שלום ומבורך.
Odevo shalom aleinu, Odevo shalom aleinu, Odevo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Odevo shalom aleinu, Odevo shalom aleinu, Odevo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam shalom, salam. Kol ha'olam salam shalom Olivo Shalom Aleinu, Olivo Shalom Aleinu, Olivo Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al.